Hello. Hi,
Hello
sister.
again, my twin.
Aw,
What?
what? We're going to, well, maybe bring some vulnerability in.
Okay.
Stacy asked before if you didn't tune in last week. I am now a fiance. Oh,
Bam! We
you're
need the
seeing on
sound effects.
YouTube.
The applause,
Oh,
the
don't
yay!
we
Woo!
have that?
We have something.
I can find it. How do we? Oh, yeah, there we go. Engaged. We just wait to use these sound effects, you all. Seriously.
It's the
So,
best. It's the best.
there's some really good ones in here, and we don't use them enough, but they
Where they
are
start.
good. So, we're gonna just go in a little bit, and if you listened to last week's, we opened up about this manipulation that's happening, whether you're aware or not aware. And hopefully now you have a heightened sense of consciousness around all the ways we're being marketed to. And so Stacy asked before we hit record if I'd be cool and she'll share her journey too. Y'all been married now for a while. But another big marketing scheme is the marriage, is the house that is marriage, what has been created of marriage, from the ring to the diamonds to the entire event of a wedding, so much so that it has been lost, I think, of this trueness of what
I'm
marriage
hearing.
actually means. And I will be the first to raise, like, if you're out there like, yeah, but who knows, whatever you're saying. I was in that place, at 28. I did get engaged. I had the whole wedding planned by the grace of God, and I've talked about this a lot. Like, he called
Mm-hmm.
off the wedding. Thankfully. Thankfully, he had the courage to do that. And it was just not, I was in a place of big time, um all of the shoulding, and honestly, it was like showtime. I
Oh
know
yeah.
you've experienced this before too. Like, let's just put on a show and appease to society, to culture, to family, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. This is big stuff. And what I was sharing with Jill was just, it's not my observation only. I mean, I'm bright, but I'm not that kind of brilliant where this is like, ooh, wow. But it's the observation that there's so many brides walking down some aisle somewhere in an event that isn't really in their desire. I got to wear
Ooh,
this because this is what my mother said she would pay for. And if I don't wear this dress, she says she's not paying for it. Or, oh, it's this time of year. And so it has to be these colors. It has to be. It's in this venue and it's super formal. So we have to be formal. Everything has to be that versus what do I really want to create to commemorate this day? Like there's so much going into the wedding that maybe you're not even aligned with, but it's happening. Are you putting that much conscious effort into building the marriage itself, the relationship? And I know there are those who would say, oh, marriage is just a piece of paper. Everybody is entitled to believe what they want. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. A piece of paper makes it a contract. This is not a contract. This is a covenant. That is something totally different. And like I've always shared with my husband, it's like, you can be out here acting a fool, getting on my nerves or doing whatever you're going to do. He doesn't get on my nerves. But, if that was the case, I still get to show up in my marriage every single day in the way that I have intended, no matter what he's acting like. If he's cranky or like, I get to show up that way because it's about the marriage itself. And I made vows to God, not to a human. That human is fallible. How am I going to make a vow to him? How's he going to make a vow to me? But if I can make a vow to the mighty one, the perfection of love, That's where my devotion is. And that's what, for me, the marriage is about. Not what colors did you wear? Oh, you're not using fine china? Oh my gosh, she wore teal. Oh, the bridesmaids' dresses. Oh, terrible. Like, what is that about that we're succumbing to the pressure of all the marketing schemes that have ever been? It's a spring wedding, we gotta have a ton of flowers. I know I was in a wedding with a woman as a bridesmaid. How about she was straight up allergic to all the flowers, but she was pressured into having an outdoor wedding because this
Oh,
is what the groom's
no.
family wanted. In his
Mm.
family, like, we all get married under this arch on this family's property. Like, that's where the
Mm-mm.
weddings happen. So we got to be outside with all these flowers. This poor bride. Oh my gosh. I felt so terrible for her. But this is what she was doing because she's feeling the pressure. She's like, Stacey, I really just want this over with. Is that the
Oh, my.
sentiment you want to carry about your wedding? This is your initiation into something so sacred. And for those who are believers, like, this is the first institution that Yeshua, when he walked on earth, put in place. It's the sanctity of marriage, the first. And I'm like, wait, you want to feel that awful about choices that were not even yours. Now, if you make some choices and they don't turn out the way you like, you're like, yeah, that didn't quite work out. I probably shouldn't put that lime green with that orange and black. Maybe that didn't work out so well. But choices you made because other people pressured you into them and you felt like you had to succumb. Again, this is the industry, the bridal industry, marketing to you, manipulating you. Oh, if you have this kind of shape, you have to be in this kind of dress. Like, if you go in and try on dresses, they're going to pull dress. They're going to ask you, what do you like? What do you want? But they're also going to pull dresses that they think you should be in. If I want to be in a particular kind of dress, maybe
You
you
know
don't think
what?
it's flattering. It's not about you. It's my day.
Gonna be a real fun game. I'm excited because at this level of my journey, it's taken a great deal of work with boundary setting and all the things. And
Yes,
so
yes. All
I
preparation.
I'm excited to get to go in and be like, um, when we're talking about sacred design and the psychology of color, this is not what you will be showing me. It's gonna be fun.
Yes, yes. But this
Well,
is
I'll tell
because
you.
you are
Well, I'll tell
aware.
you. Well, I'll tell you what is very apparent, and I'm still feeling it, as the planning. First off, I enjoy planning. It literally is like orgasmic joy for me. It's very exciting. It's an avenue from all of my creative juice to go. Stacy, like I do all the graphics and I do like that's fun too. But now this is where all of this joy gets to go right now. And
Yeah.
it is quite interesting how inside our work of Ishara, there is one protectress that is called the good girl. And she is very much working her way in to make sure that everyone is going to be happy. Specifically, it's very high potent with those women who I'm calling bridesmaids, that get to be a deep part of the day, get to stand with me on this day. These women, you, Stacy, are one of them, have been holding me in
What?
this vision. This is not, she did not just hear about this, despite if you're watching on YouTube. Y'all, I hope you're getting to know her a little better
I
this
heard a little
far
something, something
into
about it.
our
I
podcast
heard.
because she is full of it most
Yes.
times. And she will be the one in the room where some shit goes down and she's like, "Nah. What? Me? Who?"
I will stir the
Mhm.
pot. I'm the instigator, and then I'll just sit back like, look at that happening
It's
over
that
there.
only child nonsense, y'all. It's that only child.
Listen,
Um, so my good girl is very much coming up because I'm like, "Oh, I want these women that have been with me for so long, and everyone is traveling a great distance to get here to Asheville." And,
Mm-hmm.
is it going to be okay for them? Are they going to look okay in the dress? Is the color, because we know what we know. I know the colors are not in everyone's essence where it's going to shine brightly, their unique light. And I've just been working through that of like, and okay, because
Yeah.
it's going to shine
Yeah.
my light. And this is my day. And
Yeah.
you've been a beautiful sister in that of like, what would you, um, y'all get yourself a sister like Stacy for when you
Yeah.
have big life events. I'm like, flighty. And she's like, no, no,
Listen.
what if you don't
Mm-mm.
do any of that? And we help you. But yeah, I think it's a great awareness. And I mean, y'all, that we're talking weddings, but I think this is anything, your first child, any big
Absolutely.
major life thing. It's the awareness of the marketing that has been played out and been literally in our face for so long, and you
Right.
making the choice of, yeah, I want to partake in this, or no, I don't want to partake in this. Yes, I want it to be, because we very much were on this brink of like, we just go get married and say our vows next to our river, like this river, and it's just us, and that's what we do. And we decided, our families are so excited, right? Our families have just so much joy for this day that we would actually really enjoy to be surrounded by family and friends. And so that's then the choice that we've made. And then from there you get to just kind of create this beautiful party that feels good for us, for you, if you're out there
Yeah.
listening.
You get to do it the way you desire to do it. Because here's the reality, this event is never going to happen the same exact way ever again. You can renew vows, you can have another ceremony, all of it. This will never, ever, ever be repeated. It just won't. And you get to have that memory crystallized in a way that feels so good for you. I know far too many women who were putting together beautiful experiences, but because of the pressures of the family, and oh, if I invite this one, then I can't have this one sit at this table, and like all the things, they're like, forget it. We're going to elope. We're going to go do our own thing. And then that's just it. Now, that isn't to say that those who have eloped, it wasn't in their highest desire, because for some, it's like, that's exactly what
Totally.
we want. And we didn't know that until we abandoned all the wedding planning, went to go get it. Got it. But for those who feel so much pressure to perform, to
Ugh,
please, to
that's
be
it.
in good girl mode, that's what we're talking about. It's if it's not industries marketing to you, it's family and friends marketing to you. They're marketing and championing their desires, what they want, their ideas, how it should be to you. It's still manipulation. And it may be coming from the best place. Like, oh, I just love, love, love that my little niece is getting married. And in our family, we all wore this veil. And you have decided, I'm wearing a crown. I'm not wearing a veil, or I'm not wearing anything. But now you're like, ugh, I gotta wear the thing. Yeah, you get to be, all of my clients know this. I say it ad nauseum. You always get to be in your sovereignty of choice. Like the choice is always yours. And if people don't like it, you get to be comfortable with them not liking it.
And
This
you get to
is your
say
day.
no to traditions that don't feel
You
good to
get to
you.
say no to
I'll tell
traditions that
you
don't fit you.
I'll tell you what tradition is an absolute yes in my body, and I will be passing this along. If I would be telling everybody, I know you might be passing it along now. Of this tradition goes, it's on my mom's side. I've never heard of it. No one's ever
Oh,
heard of it,
yes.
and it's the sweetest, most heart opening gift I think ever that
Were you
I don't
there?
know, that a bride could give beyond other little, like, a bag or I don't know, gifts, is it's a tradition on my mom's side where the bridesmaids do not pay for their dresses, and it's, like, the most
That's where you need the
clear.
applause. Like you need to put the applause right there.
You got it? You want that one?
It's a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
It's
Um,
so sweet and so generous. It really is.
yeah, and so that's a tradition I was, like, all on board, and I
Yeah.
think for the longest, my family too, it was quite a I've not lived back in Kansas now for, gosh, y'all, it's been a while. 15 years, I don't know, and I think at some point then, me not living there, it became further a thing of, "Oh, I'll come back and get married in Kansas." And, younger in my age, that was a hard thing because 'cause I'm like, "Everybody wants me to be there. I don't want everybody to travel," la, 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 all the things you can make up. And it's just like, as I got clearer in me and myself and my desires and then obviously the partner that you find to create life with, we're like, we're not going anywhere. This is our home. This is where we will get married. So that was a thing too. I think it can be of like, where is
Oh,
this wedding going to be?
absolutely.
And
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
much are you gonna, all the
Yeah.
travel and everything. And I understand when you make the choice, there's a lot of folks that we would love to have be here for our day that just can't make it due to age or due to finances. Let's be real. Like that's a real
Yeah.
conversation. Totally.
Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
know?
I love that you two decided together, like what is it we really desire? Yes, we're considering everyone, but first consideration is what we want and what we desire. And that's a part of, as you mentioned, like holding boundaries, keeping your heart open and holding some boundaries and saying, that's not what we desire. Here's how we can help. Here's how we can take care of some of the needs other people have or some of the desires other people have. But for this part, yeah, this is what we desire. I know I felt that in my first wedding. It was just like, oh, I guess I got to get married at home in Buffalo. I had been in Atlanta decades. Like I've spent more time in Atlanta than I ever spent. I left Buffalo at 17. So like
Mhm.
I'd spent more of my life away than I had been there, but no one pressured me into it. It was just like, I guess that's just because I knew I had
Yeah.
elderly grandparents and elderly who couldn't travel and this and the other. So it was important for me to be with them on that day for sure. But it also meant for me, of course, retrospectively speaking, it was a way for me to be completely disconnected from the experience. So I didn't have to succumb to any kind of pressure of any sort. Like I'm not even there. Basically, my mother planned the whole thing. My mother and father drove around and found the venue, found the church, found the flowers, like found they would back this is like when was that 97 98. So this is like way before you could just take pictures with your phone and send them and all that. So have to send pictures. Do you like these flowers? Do you like this? Do you like that? I'm like, yeah, it all
Yeah,
looks
you know
good.
what? We
Looks
went through that
fine.
whole same
Sure.
thing because the wedding that got canceled for me, it was gonna be in Kansas, and it was so
Yeah.
much of a hassle, all of the back and forth. "In this, do you like this?" And then it's like, you have to fly with the dress because you do all the alterations, like, where you
Exactly.
it's like,
Exactly.
y'all,
I tried
I think
on
that
63 wedding dresses.
oh, lord.
63. And
Nah.
then found the one, like to this day, I still love that dress. It's a gorgeous dress. And yep, your
Mm.
girl was good in it. It was good. It was a good look. No lie. It was a
I
good
think
look.
I blacked out. I don't
It was
remember
good.
mine other
But
than mine was like
yeah, I mean, it was good. It was beautiful. But I just was really disconnected. Now, obviously, there are deeper meanings to all of this and all of that. But especially way back then in 98, I was never the girl, and I know I've said this before, who was dreaming about her wedding day. So I was never the one who was like, I want these colors, I want these flowers, I want this. So me entering into that space, I was under high pressure from all the marketing. Like, oh, well, if it's going to be in this kind of a church, it needs to be this kind of dress. You need to have these kinds of colors, blah, blah, blah. Y'all, I went with black and white. my bridesmaids were black. I was like, apparently this is formal. So to me back then, formal meant black and white. The dresses were nice and all of that, but yeah, black. I was not in that. Like if you walked into that church, I'm sure you didn't see the essence of me anywhere in that church. It was an event. It was nice. There was a Rolls Royce. I mean, it was gorgeous stuff. But again, I was very disconnected. And even my besties were like, well, do you want this? Do you want that? How about this? I was like, that's fine. Like whatever you pick is fine. Like, okay, it's all good. Like I just need to know, like I was playing the stereotypical dude role. Like I just need to know when to show up and what time. Like because I'm just gonna fly in, like, and we're gonna do this. That's just what it is. That is not the experience I would want for any being getting married. Like it's so special. It's so beautiful. I hadn't planned for makeup and hair. I was like, oh, I guess I'll just do this. But these were the pressures. Like, it has to be this way. You have to have a makeup artist. You have to have this. And the rebel in me was like, I don't have to do any of that. But I went too far on that side. So as a result, I didn't have things exactly the way I wanted. It was just a rejection of some things and a full buy-in of other things. And with my incredible, beautiful marriage now, yeah, that wedding was specifically crafted in a way that tapped into both of our desires. And you could look around, we had it at a winery. You can look around the winery. You saw us. The fact that it was at a winery, everybody knew, oh yeah, that's them. That's definitely the Stacey and Brian event. Like it's at a winery. There are these kinds of things happening, these colors around, of course, right? But I was also much older, much wiser, and knew about the manipulation of marketing schemes. Like, even the packages they were showing us was like, I don't want that. Well, this is how it's done. Okay, well then we can't have it here because this is what we
You know
want.
how
We want this
how
and
many
this and this.
conversations I've been like, so can we do this and not this? Like you gotta negotiate for yourself,
Right.
y'all, in
You have
anything
to
in life.
negotiate. You have to advocate for yourself.
And it's like, it's
Anyway,
so much fun.
I was going to say,
Let's
anyway,
all
you
just
get to have
be
fun.
in the fun of it.
You get to remember the fun of it. Like,
If
don't be
it
so
starts
in it that you
if it
can't
starts being
enjoy it.
not fun and I feel that nervous system overwhelm, which has happened quite a few times, I am
Yeah.
trying to consciously just pull back and be like, nah,
Yeah.
we'll wait. You get like, it's like following the thread of the things that bring you joy in the planning. And
Mhm.
then you take a step back and then you move forward. This is with anything, y'all. Anything in life.
Anything.
If you just
Anything.
follow that little nuggets of like, ooh, those sparks of light, and
Yeah.
then
What
just
lights
keep
you
going
up?
because it energizes you. Like when I have been planning in that way, I'm so energized. Like it's just like life force.
I know. Every
So,
time you send me a little
mm,
dribble of that through a text or a Voxer, like you can feel the energy behind it. Like, oh, she had so much fun picking this or choosing this or deciding this. And you feel it. Like it just feels so good. It feels good to be a part of it. And like you want to be a part of it because you know, obviously, yes, I love you, all the things. But I have loved people and been in the weddings and been stressed the heck out. Like, what is happening here? Oh my gosh. Like, this feels so easeful because you are in your sovereignty of choice and you're saying, this is how I desire for it to be. And I know that takes a lot for many of us. But when we have that innate good girl and she does want to please everybody, she wants everybody to be happy, everybody to have a good time and all of that, it can be a challenge to get back to your queendom of
oof,
being and saying,
oof.
okay, for my queen space, this is what I desire. And so I proclaim it, I decree it. This is the edict. This is how it will be. And everyone will see that this is how I intended for it to be.
They'll
They may
feel,
not like it
they
and it's okay.
feel.
They will have the experience of witnessing you in that space, whether they like it or not. They can appreciate witnessing you and saying, yeah, she did this. She did this exactly the way she wanted.
Mm.
Because this is the first stage of your marriage. You don't want to be bullied around and pushed around in your marriage about how it should be, what it's supposed to be, and all of this. You get to craft it together. And it starts with this, crafting it together. So I love how you're doing it.
Oh, I love you.
Yeah,
So
you
this
make me want
feels
to get
like a
married
nice
all
place.
over again.
We're in that energy, y'all. Thanks for tuning in today. We so appreciate you being with us. And hopefully,
Yes.
regardless if it's wedding or any type of event going on in your life, you could just pull a few nuggets out of today's episode that
Yeah.
can support
Yeah.
you right now with wherever you are in your
Make it
life.
relatable to you. Weddings,
That's it.
even funerals. I mean, let's be real. Weddings,
That's it.
funerals, baby births,
Babies,
divorces,
all of it.
graduations, all of it. Have it your way.
Big, big birthdays. All right, y'all.
Birthdays.
Let us know in the comments what resonated with you, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Love you. Bye.